Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. I lift up prayers for healing for all those who may be suffering today. We ask that you watch over our law enforcement, marshal services, and bless all our tribal leaders. We thank you, Lord, for all our national treasures, our culture keepers, Cherokee language teachers. Please guide our decision-making today, Lord, as we come together to serve our fellow Cherokee citizens. In Jesus' name, amen. Shelley, roll call, please.
Yes, ma'am. Victoria Vasquez.
Ani?
Condessa Teehee. Keith Austin. Here. Danny Callison. Here. Julia Coates. Sean Crittenden. Joe Deere. Mike Dobbins. Here. Rex Jordan. Here. Johnny Kidwell. Here. Darrell Legg. Here. Wes Snowfire. Dora Petskowski. Here. Joshua Sam. Mike Shambaugh. Melvina Shotpouch. E.O. Smith. Here. We have a quorum.
Thank you. I'll ask for approval of last month's, or 2 months ago, March's meeting.
So moved.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. We will move to our reports, and first up will be reporting for cultural tourism. Looks like we've got Travis Owens. Welcome, Travis.
Well, good to be with you all today. Molly couldn't join. We have getting ready to have our CMB Cultural Committee meeting today as well. So I'm here in her place. I'll just highlight a couple of things that aren't on the report and then a couple of things that are on the report. So just wanted to mention, as you all know, this month is Missing Murdered Indigenous Peoples Awareness Month. So we have been working with our Cherokee Nation Government Relations team, Ms. Delegate Teehee, our Marshal Service Communications team to help raise awareness, and we've done a series of displays throughout some of our cultural sites. And then this week has kind of culminated with a special display at Cherokee Springs Gallery next to the Cherokee Nation gift shop. So we've enjoyed the opportunity to help raise awareness for that, and so I hope you've had an opportunity to see some of that on social media or go out to some of the sites and see some of the displays. Also this is not on your report, but we have started to implement the new Cherokee history course. We've started with this will be part of a broader program, Cherokee history program, but this first course is a 10 to 12 hour course that's going on and within the reservation and some at-large communities. And then most of the classes, some of them are already full and on wait lists, and so we'll continue to add classes as we move along. And then our longer range goal is to build a more comprehensive program that includes online curriculum and special curriculum for different age groups within schools, but that's all part of a longer range plan. So this is just the first phase of that. Also just want to mention Cherokee Heritage Center. We continue to work on our efforts there. We are just days away from signing a contract for a master site planning firm. And so that's been something we've been working towards for quite a while. We've done a lot of other work that we always refer to kind of our due diligence, some site planning, interpretive planning, some work around the female seminary there, but or the remains of this female seminary. So a lot of work's been going on, but this will kind of be the first kind of, I like to say the pretty pictures. You'll start seeing what things are going to start to look like. So excited to kick that off. We're also excited to, Chief Hoskin announced, I think last weekend, that by June 7th, we will officially own the Will Rogers Birthplace Ranch in Oologah. So that's been a couple of years in the works, actually longer than that. So we're excited to get that and transition. When we do acquire that property, we're going to operate it kind of as is through the fall. And then we will likely close the property by winter and begin some renovations there. So there's some deferred maintenance on the grounds and then infrastructure needs, and then we're going to update some of the interpretive elements as well. So we're looking forward to that, and hope you can join us as we celebrate that acquisition. We're also continuing to work on Dwight Mission, the feasibility study and master site plan there. We're just wrapping up the feasibility study, working through some options. Should have some information on that soon. We're just waiting on some of the capital costs associated with some of the alternatives there. Also want to highlight a couple of I hope you had an opportunity to come to some of our museums and see some of our special exhibitions. Right now we have Cherokee National Treasure Anna Sixkiller, The Language of Reeds, on display at the Saline Courthouse Museum through July 15th. We also just opened a special exhibition at the Anna Mitchell Cultural and Welcome Center, Jane Austen, A Legacy of Her Own. And mark your calendars, we'll have a special reception with Jane and others on June 10th from 2 to 4 p.m. So we hope you're able to join us there. Have another number of other programs and events going on through the museum and the communities. One of folks' favorites is our Stories on the Square. That starts again in June. It's kind of a summer series that we do, and that's Wednesdays at the National Peace Pavilion. So with that, I'll open for any questions that you may have.
Anyone? Yes, Counselor Deere.
You got an update with Route 66? We were in Fairfax, and Lieutenant Governor Pinnell has announced that plan about 66, about doing the historic sites all the way with the tribals, all the way through, coming all the way through Catoosa and that area.
Yeah.
Have you had an updated meeting since we went to Fairfax?
Not an updated meeting, but we'll continue to work with those partners and as they've been identified and continue to work to build some events around Route 66 and the events there.
Okay, all right, just send me an email update when you finally get those answers.
Okay.
Thanks.
Counselor Smith?
Can you go over that history school thing real quick again? What was you talking about, the
history course? Okay. So we just launched kind of the first phase of what would be the Cherokee History Program, which we envision kind of multiple courses on different subject matter, different periods of history. This first course is called Cherokee Nation and History of Resilience. It's a 10 to 12-hour version that can be broken up to teach in different communities. So it's the curriculum is based on a book, the Cherokee Nation History of Survival, that was produced by Dr. Bob Blackburn, Dr. Morton, and Dr. King. The Cherokee Nation commissioned that book. And so the curriculum at this first course is really based around that book. And the course is meant to provide a base level knowledge of Cherokee history. And so this current format can be taught across 2-hour course in the evening across 6 weeks, or can be combined for 2 6-hour versions over the weekend for our large communities. So there's some flexibility in how we deliver that curriculum to kind of work with communities where they need it. But what we started is trying to get one class. Our internal goal is just by October to be able to get a class in each of our Cherokee Nation districts, and then several at-large communities. And so we'll continue. We've got an initial class schedule that's on visitcherokeenation.com under classes. And it's free. It's free and open to the public. Folks get a copy of the book with the class, with the curriculum. But we do require reservations, just so we try to keep it about 35 students.
I think that kind of be a popular thing, won't it?
I think it is popular. We've got one class that I think there's about 20 on the wait list for. So we're definitely seeing that there's a demand for this in our communities.
Yes, Counselor Dana Callison.
Are we going to take that any further, maybe for public education to maybe do a Zoom meeting, Zoom class or something of that sort on that, or are we looking at doing anything like that?
Yes. So we're starting with this first phase to get some out to the communities and this first kind of curriculum. We're going to work with a curriculum development consultant to be identified to help us get broad range curriculum that can go in our public school system, but also can go on online formats. So for our large community of folks that just don't have the time to come to in-person and that want to do independent study. So I think we'll be working over the next several months. We hope to have something online sometime early next year, kind of contingent upon how this process rolls out. But we're going to also bring back things like Lunch and Learns that will be streamed. And then there'll be other modules of other courses. So like specific drill downs, like a 2 to 3 hour version on Cherokee Nations in the Civil War, Cherokee Nations, Cherokee removal story. So this class is meant to kind of give the base level knowledge, and then we'll build upon that with other modules and other courses in the future.
Yes, Counselor Teehee.
So this initial Cherokee history course is just kind of an introductory starter course.
That's correct.
Okay. So at one point in time, this used to be a requirement for Cherokee Nation employees. Is this something that you are also going to be coordinating with Human Resources on to kind of bring that back, or make it, or are we going to wait until it becomes kind of a packaged online course, and maybe it's going to go on the Ojo Liga learning portal, or what are the intentions there?
We've not had the specific conversations with Cherokee Nation Human Resources or on Cherokee Nation Businesses side. We do want to develop a curriculum that could, in different formats, go to Cherokee Nation employees across our Cherokee Federal, Cherokee Nation Businesses, but I don't think we're there yet. Each of those groups have different needs in terms of time formats and, but I think that will continue to be part of the overarching program, as we look to build this out.
Yeah, because I know as our population of employees continues to grow and shift and adapt over time, there are times when we do hire employees who have not, they don't have any baseline or foundation for Cherokee history and what makes us a nation. There have been times where I have overheard individuals complain about the Cherokee language that's being used because they don't understand what's being said. So I think a course like this is and those are very, very limited instances that happened, years ago, back when I was an employee. So I think that it would be really, really wonderful to kind of have a rollout that was suitable for our employee population. Because while the majority of our employees are very knowledgeable and very engaged with Cherokee history, we do have a small percentage who really could use a course like this and really need it. So I'm excited about the possibilities here.
Anybody else? I just had a couple of comments, Travis, and one of them was that the language course at Veneta that's being held now, I understand, is very popular, and I'm thrilled that we had the kickoff at the Anna Mitchell Cultural Center. Also, I got a preview of the Jane Austen pottery exhibit, and it is excellent. I thought I had seen everything that Jane had made, but obviously I had not. And I'm thrilled to see the big corn woman that's almost life-size in clay. So I encourage all of you to try to get there. June 10th would be the perfect time. The reception is, I believe, from 2 to 4 on Saturday, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Your people have done a great job there.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
If that's all, we will let you go. Thanks, Travis.
Thank you all.
Okay, next up, representing Cherokee Nation Language Department, we welcome Howard Payton.
Siona God,
Good
it's
morning.
an honor to be here with you guys today. I will tell you, though, after this, I have one of the pastors of that's helping us had requested some neck bone soup. And I don't always get neck bone soup, but it seems like I'm going to get that today. So if I drift off, I'm thinking about neck bone soup. So glad to be here today. I'll not belabor very long. I'll try to go as fast as I can. I do realize that everybody's busy, and the language department is doing a lot of things, and I think everybody knows a lot of the things that we're doing, but we'll get going on this real quick. I did want to do some highlights of the online classes. During this reporting period, we had 2,213 participants, And year-to-date was 6,339, which is I think is a large number and is doing well. We also translated, the language department through the translation department had translated 8,784 words. We've given out a lot of posters, a lot of USB drives. The USB drives is really, really nice. We've ordered quite a few of them, and they're becoming more and more popular. Where our cartoons, there's about 8 gigs on that of just information, and so it's nice to be able to hand that to someone, and they have all the posters, all the books that we have. Everything's just right at their fingertips. So that's becoming growingly popular. The Institute of Excellence is a group that puts our youngest Cherokee speakers with our oldest Cherokee speakers, or more proficient Cherokee speakers, for a period of 3 years. They are doing a lot of different visits, home visits. They're able to sit down the couch with some of our elders and spend a half a day or a day with them, and we're able to subsidize that elder during that time. And so that ends up being some rural deep words that are being recorded. They have 300 hours of audio recordings thus far about that, and they are making a list of endangered words that we were worried that may slip through our fingers. So they're doing a good job. Teacher Bridge program is also doing a great job. I know that you guys will enjoy it before too long, because you'll be able to see some of the exercise videos that they're doing that will allow employees and students and that sort of things to do some exercise and it be in Cherokee. So I think that's going to be neat and fun to watch roll out in the next few weeks. On the Saving the Voices project, this is a project that we're trying to record all Cherokee speakers during the month of March and April. That team recorded 145 speakers, which is phenomenal. We had that kind of blew out a little bit. You guys may have got a call or two about it, where people was trying to schedule recordings, and we had somebody that was in there recording and trying to schedule things at night, and so we had to pull other members in. Health department had helped us with one of their schedulers that was a Cherokee speaker as well, to help come in, and we borrowed her for a couple months, and she's got us all the way into November now of scheduling. So we do give priority to a elder that is over the age of 80, and also if one is in a condition that we think that we may not be able to record them if we don't do it now, if that makes sense. So we also did a speaker bureau meeting in March. This is the first one since the pandemic in 2020, and we had over 170 Cherokee speakers show up to that meeting. So that's about double the size of what we would normally have, and so it was good to see all of them come in Durban and us feed them and just enjoy them. I think we had some of the council was there. I know Councilor Teehee was there. There was a new syllabary bingo style game, and if you start doing that in Cherokee, Cherokee's like bingo already, right? But Cherokee speakers really like it in Cherokee, right? So it was fun and good. Master Apprentice is now taking applications for fall cohort. Anyone that wants to apply for the Master Apprentice program, they can apply at www.language.cherokee.org. The Language Technology Group, this is something that I want to put a shout out to some of our ministers. There's a minister here in town. I don't know if he wants us to name his name or not, but he's a Cherokee speaker, Cherokee preacher that donated over 260 hours of DVD video content from different gospel singings and that sort of thing that was in Cherokee that we're archiving. And so it'd be interesting to see that was more than a decade of recordings that I'm sure there's some jewels in there that we haven't even been able to get to yet. I'll go over to speaker services. That team has done 8 wheelchair ramps and porches. They're in a process of rehabbing 12 different speakers' homes. They're in the process of working on 14 different homes to replace homes or put emergency homes in for speakers. And they have 113 active projects thus far since the conception of speaker services. They've done 117 roofs, 87 walk-in showers, and 65 HVAC units. So if you guys have any questions, I'll try my best to answer them.
Thank you, Howard. Anyone have any questions? Okay, Counselor Teehee.
CO.
CO.
You have some great highlights that you shared. Would you share a little bit more about the app?
There is a Memorize app that we have produced that has 935 words or phrases on that. It's going to be shown all over Cherokee Nation's media very, very soon. We're in the process of putting how to get on it, how to download it, how to select Cherokee. But that is going to be, I think, a game changer when it comes to some of the work where people can just turn on their phone and it's there. Also, the Cherokee Book of Praise app is, we're doing a deeper dive. We've recorded the New Testament, and that should be where we can upload that. Our IT Department of Communications has worked with us to add a playlist just for that, so you can push on that app and you can hear whichever chapter you want read in Cherokee to you.
Oh, wow.
And that lit up, the individual words lit up. We think that it will help a lot of our Cherokee speakers to be able to read along, and it will probably help some of them learn to read. And of course, us second language learners just like to hear Cherokee constantly. So there's some cool things that's coming out with apps and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I get questions all the time on, how can I get started? Where do I start? What do I do? And so having an app like that and having some content that people can actually listen to immediately, well, I think it'll be really important, especially for our citizens who are not in communities that have large populations of Cherokee speakers. And even communities that have large populations of Cherokee speakers, we have to remember to be careful with and nurture and take care of our speakers, because most of them are elders who are 55 and older, and I think the majority are 60 and older at this time. So I really appreciate those kind of language at your fingertips kind of options, because I think that's also going to be recruiting for programs like the Cherokee Language Master Apprentice Program as well. And I think it'll also help our parents as well, parents of immersion school students. As you were talking, I just had a memory, and I was thinking about the Cherokee Talking Dictionary that was done with the Cherokee Nation Foundation back. It was, I think, even before it became the Cherokee Nation Foundation, back when it was the Cherokee Nation Education Corporation. under the operation of a different executive director. Have there been any efforts to try and incorporate some of those recordings into the digital archives that you're compiling there at the Cherokee Language Department?
So Counselor Ia, Counselor Teehee, I'm sorry. Well, I guess we could say Cherokee names here,
Yeah.
can't we? We're all Cherokee. We've on the app, you're 100% correct. To put them in the fingertips of people, which will be a game changer. The goal, I believe, is one day when somebody comes in and applies for master apprentice or something like that, that they have enough resources that we can do a testing on them right then and there to see if they're really serious about language learning. Right now, maybe they don't have the access that a lot of people had or have. And we have a hard time figuring that out. So I'm hoping that we have enough content on at your fingertips type learning that somebody can get to novice high or intermediate low before they ever walk in the door.
Yeah.
And that will let you know how serious they are and how good of a student they are. And so we'll be able to glean through and get the best students at that point. I also know when I was a kid, it was the see, say, write, and every year it was the same thing over and over and over. The digital archive, we're trying to pull in everything. That's the same reason with the recordings that we're doing. We're trying to have a picture of every piece of paper that that's in any museum where we take a picture and we build a huge language corpus. I know that some of the linguists and stuff that was looking at that, when just here the other day, we was going through all their list of recordings. There's, of course, a lot of stuff that Durbin had done on that dictionary where he recorded a lot there. And there's just a whole lot of that. I know we was at TU earlier this week going through some of their lists, and they have a list of words, too, that somebody had worked on a dictionary there that will be real easy to convert. So all of them are being pulled together, and then whatever we produce, we're putting translational teams in. So there's some of the Master Apprentice students that's graduated that's real good at typing Cherokee and reading Cherokee and good at speaking Cherokee too, that has a elder in their family that is a speaker. And so what we're doing is we're coming in and contracting with that speaker and doing extra duty or whatever we have to with that graduate, and we're making teams where we have, where they can just sit at the dinner table at their grandparents' house and translate all of the different things that is being spoken. So I think we've identified 4 or 5 of them teams that we're about to launch out and try to feed into this humongous dictionary that one day, 50 years from now or 100 years from now, somebody can be teaching in emergency school, not know a word, push a button on whatever instrument that they have. I don't know if they'll still have iPhones then or not, but where they can hear that word spoken by a first language speaker, and then they can also hear sample syntax discourse and that sort of thing. So it's
deal.
hopefully all feeding into, well, it is all feeding into one big project there. So,
Okay, great. Well, galelice Dawadisk.
Niskwa.
Thank you for the time.
enjoy Legacy.
Counselor Smith.
I was at the ball game the other night, and I had an elder come up to me, and he said, he's speaker, and he said, I can remember a time when we were speakers were not looked down on, but he said we were considered kind of a pain because when we go to offices, they would have to get somebody to help us. And he was just, you could tell he was tickled to death by the way that things were going down. He was just so excited. He said a lot of people felt that way, but he said, he just carried on like that, but he could tell he had a lot of pride now He said they bring the pride out in a lot of speakers, so I just want to tell you that one.
Well, though, Counselor.
Counselor Sam?
Yes. Just on the speaker services, I know, appreciate the team there. They're doing a lot of fantastic work. I know, like Sammy, Winterhawk, Denise, and all of them. I know me and Sean hit them up quite a bit, and there's a lot of tremendous work going on. And, you know, it's awesome to see some of that, the light of the works there. I mean, there's a lot of great labor going in, a lot of good works, and a lot of great work. I know, just speaking with some of them, just that communication. I know it might help with the fellowship too. I know some of those elder speakers, they enjoy getting a phone call every now and then, just getting to fellowship with someone, but maybe something where, I'm not sure, maybe we can work a joint venture there, like your speaker service crew updates us and we can update the speakers or however we want to go. I know every other Friday maybe. I just know some of them like, hey, they see that light of the work in the community. They see their neighbor, hey, they got a new roof.
Yeah.
Where's my new roof going to be? They just kind of update there, something just to help them. I know they're excited about those works coming,
Yeah.
but if there's something we can help that communicate to them like an update, like, hey, you're 2 to 4 weeks out or something like that, that would be awesome. But like I said, your team's doing awesome. I mean, we can see it in our community daily. We know contractors or windows, there's not a curbside pickup for all of them. So it's hard to find them, but just definitely share with your team that they're doing awesome.
Well, though, Counselor, I'm sorry, I feel like we're in a home improvement episode a little bit, looking over the fence at one another. But it's, you guys are, I never thought that I would have the relationship I have with this many members of the council. And it's because, to be quite frank, you guys are doing a lot of social work and maneuvering people around with us, and I know exactly what you're talking about, Counselor. If you have 3 speakers on the same road and one of them gets a roof, the other 2 are fit to be tied until they get their whatever's going on in their house fixed. But it's also kind of neat that this was such of a silent group of people that now don't have any problem standing up, a lot of them, and saying, hey, when is this happening? Give me a timeline, where I think a few years ago they wouldn't have necessarily done that. So that's building that pride back, like Councilor Smith is saying, that they know their worth, and we need them to know their worth, so that's good. So yeah, we'll work on that for sure.
Okay. Counselor Crittenden?
Just kind of follow up EO and Josh on speaker services. Wow, what a program, speaker services. It's, looking around everybody here, it's our intention to improve and embrace our precious language, precious speakers, and guys, word's getting out, speaker services. Now, they say no good deed goes unpunished. It's getting out so much that there's a few of those negative folks reaching out going, they just got that just because they can speak.
Yeah.
So that is showing me we're doing our job of embracing and putting those speakers up on a pedestal, and I'm proud of that. Then I always assure those folks that, no, you're not. There's just other avenues, you can take to get help. And isn't it a good feeling to be a part of what we have going on here? Because you have to really think long and hard to think of something that there's just absolutely zero help for. So we're on our same path here of helping folks, and then we're embracing and making the speakers feel special, as we should. So, pretty cool. Thank you.
Councilor Legg says something to the fact of, he says, if you have only 50 California condors in existence, is not saying that because you cater to them, trying to make sure that they survive. It's not saying the robin isn't sacred. It's just saying we only have 50, and so that's the approach that we're having to do now in this generation. And then hopefully in a few generations, there'll be so many speakers that we're thinking, well, speaker services, that'll be a foreign concept, hopefully. So.
Well, I really think that great strides are being made to go that direction. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, sir.
Well said, Counselor Crittenden. I think we all agree. Yes, Counselor Shophouse.
I just want to thank you for letting the immersion students serve this month for the speakers. And it was good because, while serving, you could say, what are they serving? The only thing we couldn't figure out was how to say Frito. So you're going to have to come up with a name for Frito. All the thing we could think of was Seligado Sticky. So, but anyway, it was good, the kids, when they say, what is it, they knew what it was, except for that one thing, but.
Frito-Ido, huh?
So anyway, I appreciate, bringing those kids in to be there, and hear and be asked, included in conversations.
That's what Durban's built for, is for them to be right next to translators and speakers coming in and that sort of stuff. So that, I've seen them serving in there. That's Cherokee, and that's Anikadu. Yeah, so, yeah.
Anyone else? Well, thank you, Howard.
Well
Appreciate you. Good report. Next up, representing Community and Cultural Outreach, Kevin Stretch. Welcome, Kevin.
Sion to God. Thanks, everyone. I'm glad to be here today. I would like to start off by saying that we're working with through Howard's group and Speaker Services to renovate identified Cherokee-speaking churches as well, to help rehab some of those churches and bring them up to better standards, standards that they deserve. So we started a few months ago having our monthly meetings in person again, and including this last Tuesday, we had it at the Chalagi Room, and we had about 68 people, which is wonderful, and we have a lot of questions. You talk to people over Zoom for 2 years and talk to them on the phone, but being able to get out and rub elbows with everyone has been fantastic. We have several ongoing projects, construction projects, and solar projects, those being currently Vian Community Foundation, Illinois River Action Community Org, Adair County Historical and Genealogical Society, Southern Cherokee Helpers. Our ongoing projects, ribbon cutting, we had recently Kansas Cherokee Community, tomorrow, going to be People's Community Center in Chelsea, and then they're going to have a big blowout up there on Saturday. And the reason I give you that list is we currently have 43 community buildings that CCO kind of oversees, I'll say, that we work with, those organizations. And there are a lot of people that are developing organizations that want buildings. I will say that the Cherokee Cultural Helpers in Dewey as well is a brand new ribbon cutting that we had. But there's construction, Cherokee Nation, especially Cherokee Nation construction going on everywhere, and everyone's really busy. All the contractors, we're pulling them every direction, and so we just have to delay some people when they request additional help. But we're working with David Pruitt, who most of you know works through our office, to go out and help those people identify contractors and make assurances that some of the requests are reasonable. So a couple of non-CCO construction projects, going to be Kenwood and the Marble City Activity Center. So Cherokee Nation is overseeing that. I will say Greasy is, we've finished the building part of that. Now we're working on the exterior, the ball field and everything like that. We have a contract for the backstop, but right now it's a rice field. So we're trying to take care of that drainage problem before we get into repairing the backstop. The at-large attendance at our meetings continues to grow, and that's great. And not only is it growing for the events, more importantly, it's growing for the organizations. So we provide the sign-in sheets to those organizations for those events, and they then reach out to those individuals and have been growing their membership. So that's a great thing to have. Savannah Smith, I don't know if I've announced this to this distinguished group, but Savannah Smith is replacing Brad Wagnon, has been promoted to his position. Brad Wagnon, if you don't know, is now works for emergency management in a community outreach type program. So he still works with us, still works with the community organizations, which they're happy about, but Savannah will now be the coordinator of community. And she's doing a great job. Our CCO conference is June the 23rd, 24th. We hope to see you there. We have after the conference, so that's Friday, Saturday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we usually keep the at-large participants. And I'll say that we sponsor one from each of the at-large groups to come here, but any number of them can self-pay to come. And we have cultural enrichment for those folks so that and these are leaders of their community organizations, not just any Cherokee's at-large citizen. And so the hope is that we train them, or we expose them to our culture and our tourism, and they can go back and share it with their organizations and try to convince them it's a great idea to come back home and see what's going on. So, so we do tourism. We do half a day of language. We take them to water. We have a stomp dance demonstration so that they kind of get a little bit of Cherokee culture that way. Our volunteer program, a couple of weeks ago, we hosted the Ohio State University volunteer group. There were about 9 young people. I still call them kids. 9 young people, and they stayed and worked with the Cherokee Baptist Association. Next week, we're going to have the University of Michigan's going to be up in Salina and working in that area. And so what we do, and what I appeal to you is that when we contact you that we're going to have things going on in your area, that you guys can maybe help us identify people in need. Now, these are college kids. Some of them don't know which end of the screw gun to use, but we are there all the time, and we supervise them, we help them, and we judge their, whether they're painters or construction people. So don't worry about it being shoddy work, okay? And then in the end of June, we're going to have the Kansas City and Missouri Methodist is what I have written down. And we used to have several hundred in the summertime, but that group has split apart. And so now we're going to have up to 40 people, and they're going to be staying in Chewy for that. And our community buildings, we encourage them to host these groups when they come down. And so these young people pay to come on this trip. buy their own food. All the community organization does, the community buildings, is provide them a place to sleep and shower and cook, access to their kitchen. So, and we usually do projects on the community center while we're there. So I think it's a great thing all around. And then we have a little bit of cultural outreach for them one evening, might be with Robert Lewis or Tommy Wildcat or something like that. So with that, I'll open up any questions.
Anyone have questions for Kevin? Yes, Counselor Dobbins.
Kevin, what'd you say about help with the Cherokee-speaking churches?
Yes, so there's a Cherokee-speaking churches, we provide renovation projects for those churches, and those have been identified through the language department.
So what would be the first step for that church to make application?
I would contact probably Sammy Eagle. Yeah, Sammy Eagle. That's using housing, jobs, and sustainability funding as well, so.
Do you happen to have his number, contact information, and get it to us?
I will get that here shortly.
All right.
I can send that to you.
Okay, very good. Appreciate it. Second question.
Okay.
Kevin, on cemetery maintenance, is that still $500?
Yeah, and you can add 200 if you have headstone repair.
Okay. Is that 500 or 700 per cemetery or per family?
Per cemetery.
Per cemetery?
Yes.
Okay, so you can't have two separate families garner $700.
Right, so it's really for cemetery maintenance, really mowing and weed
Yeah.
eating,
Right.
gas money, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what that funding is for.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Chair.
Sure. On those contact information for Sammy, would you give that information to Gail, and she can send it to all of us?
Okay.
And I would also ask that you include Savannah Smith. For some reason, I don't have her in my phone, so I need her contact information.
Okay.
Okay, and, next question. Counselor Legg.
Yeah, Kevin, on these projects, with the group of Ohio State students that are coming down, do y'all pay for the materials and stuff like that when y'all find something to do? Or
Yes, we do. We do pay for materials for that. Yeah.
okay, have y'all picked out a project yet?
For the Salina area?
Well, no, for when the Ohio State students come down, or do y'all have a specific project? Yet that
Yeah,
y'all are gonna do?
we do before they come down.
Okay,
Yeah, we have identified
okay,
projects for that.
all right, thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Kevin, for a good report.
Well, don't.
Next up, last but not least, representing our Cherokee National Treasurers Advisory Committee, Ms. Betty Frog. Welcome. Microphone.
A lot of the living treasures are being, exhibits are on, and as Travis touched on, Anna Six Killer is featured there, her exhibit, and it'll be on display until July the 8th. And following her will be Dan Meek, who's known for graphic design, and his exhibit will be up until July the 11th. And as part of the exhibit, each national treasure has the opportunity to host an artist talk and/or demonstration held at the museum. There are currently 6 Cherokee National Treasures committed to teach in the Cherokee National Treasure Mentorship Program. Each treasure will host at least 2 or more students, and there's still time for other treasures to come in and sign up for if they're interested in hosting classes. Postings are now open for the 2023 Cherokee National Treasures nominations. The deadline for submission is 5 p.m. on June 9th, 2023. As in the years past, there are ads placed in Cherokee Phoenix. We currently have links to the nomination form posted on the dsco.com in Cherokee.org. websites. We encourage anyone to submit their nominations early to ensure that their nomination packets are complete. Any questions?
Thank you, Betty. Yes, Counselor Austin.
On the Dan Mink exhibit, the dates on that went by so quick I didn't get them wrote down.
Oh, okay. Dan Meek, his will open July 11th.
Okay, and it will run for 2 months, is that correct?
3 months, I believe.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Oh, Counselor Crittenden.
Hey, Betty.
Still,
Hey, I've got someone asking for a recommendation letter for National Treasure.
reference letter?
Yeah. Can I email that to you? Do I need to get that to them where they can submit it all
You
at
need
the
to
same
get it
time?
to the person that's making the nominations and get
And they
all
put
the
all of them
packet
together.
together and turn it into Donetta Johnson.
Delanna Johnson.
Donetta.
Well, thank you, good lady. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? If not, thank you, Betty. Appreciate your report.
Hawa, wadon.
Okay, old business, none pending, new business, none pending. Next, we have announcements, and I have a couple. First, I want to touch on something that Kevin brought up and it wasn't, you brought it up about the People Community Center, but I wanted to reiterate on that it is in my district, and it's not in Chelsea, it's at Bowling Spring, very near Bowling Springs Barbecue, which might be more meaningful to people that have been there. And their grand opening is at 1 o'clock tomorrow, and I've got to give a shout out to Ann Dawkins and her board. They have done an excellent job working on this building. It's beautiful. It's a great, big, beautiful building. And not only are they having a grand opening, ribbon cutting tomorrow, starting at 1 o'clock, they're having activities there for the 3 days following. So they are really into this, and they're excited to share it with the community. So if any of y'all can come, Google Bowling Springs Barbecue, and that'll give you an address, and it's right down the road from the barbecue. So my second announcement is that I was told that our esteemed Secretary Dora Patskowski and her husband are celebrating today their 44th wedding anniversary. And she is looking very pleased. Does anybody else have any announcements? If not, the next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, July 27th at 11 a.m. I ask for a motion to adjourn. Second. All righty, we're adjourned. Thank you all.